Hey everybody, welcome back to some Algebra 2. Well, we're getting to the end of the radicals finally, and the last thing we have to do is solve some radical equations. Now, if you remember, or if you were awake in class a few months ago, we did some of these. Let me just show you the section we did. It's 4.5, and we were solving some square roots. Remember, we simplified them, and eventually we got around to where we had to solve them. And if you recall the steps, we had to isolate the radical. No matter what you do, get the radical, or in this case, the exponent variable, isolated. So what we're going to do now with our current situation is we're going to do more than just square roots. We're going to have cube roots and other fourth roots, fifth roots, whatever, to work with. So here's basic steps for solving radical equations. And right in front of you here, step one, you want to isolate the radical. So do all the PEMDAS you can around it to get it by itself on one side of the equation. Then you want to raise each side of the equation, for step 2 here, to the same power to eliminate the radical. And then last solve, set equal to 0. So let's try some of that out. A couple of examples for you. Example 1, solving a radical equation. I look at this problem. It's an equation. It's got a third root. And looking at it, looks like it's already isolated. Step 1 is already done. I've got that thing isolated. So now, step 2, I have to do the opposite to each side to get rid of the root. So currently, if you can think of this also as maybe it helps you, this is 2x plus 7, to the 1/3 power, right? Equals 3. Well, I want to eliminate that radical completely from the left. And to do that, I can actually give myself enough room here. So let me just erase some of this so I have some room. Okay, there we go. 3. I can take the third power of each side. Third power. Now the right's pretty easy, and we've had enough experience with these. We can solve 3 to the third power. That's 27. On the left, the 3 to the 1/3 is just going to give me 1. So I'll rewrite it for you so you can see that. So it's 2x plus 7. Now I have, it's 1/3 times 3 over 1, correct? And those together are going to just be 1. So I'm down to this 2x plus 7 equals 27. And the rest of it's cake. Hopefully I like cake. Minus 7, I have 2x equals, 20? Divide by 2, you see it here, folks, right? X equals 10. All right. Let's see what else we got for you. Here's some other ones that might require some other work first, and I'll make sure I show you an example of these. So the first one, x, a third cube of x minus 9. This is not isolated yet. I got this -9 in the way first. So I need to move that through addition. So I'm just going to add 9 to both sides. I now have, I'm going to write it as a exponent, x to the 1/3 equals 8. All right, so now I can take the third power of both sides to get rid of the this fractional exponent. So this would be times 3 here over 1, and this is times 3 over here. Or not times 3, sorry, to the third power. Those cancel out, so I just have x over here, and 8 times 8 times 8. You know what? I just forget, because we haven't been doing these these third powers. Like I told most of you who come to the live sessions, had we had some continuous work with these exponents, we'd all know many numbers of third power and fourth power and vice versa. So I just forget that one. Number 2 here, pretty simple. It's already isolated. So we'll just, and it's 1/2 or square root. So we can just square both sides. Square, all right, square. X plus 25 equals 16 minus 25. X equals 9, -9. Okay. All right, let me show you a few others that are a little bit more challenging before you give you some work on these. Here we go. And actually, Here we go. I'll look at number 8 here. A couple of steps from number 8. By the way, I'm on skills practice. You may not get that skills practice. Number 8. So show it to you quick. All right. So we have to isolate the 10x, the square root of 10x. But I have this 8 happening to it and this negative 7. So I have to get rid of those first. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides first of all. Add 7. So I have 8 square root of 10x equals 16. Now this 8 has to go, so I'll divide both sides by 8, and that kind of works nice. So I have 10x, that's the square root of that, equals 2. And now, to get rid of the square root, I'll just square both sides. And then I'll have 10x equals 4. Divide by 10. All right, it's a fraction. But guess what? We have to do anything else with it. And there you go. Okay, so that's how you solve. Go back to the beginning here. That's how you solve radical equations. You isolate first. Whoops. You isolate it, get it by itself. Raise each side of the equation to the same power to eliminate it. And just solve away. All right, folks, so work on the problems for that. And then there are 2 more sections to work on.